My earliest memories of being here at Rockdale was about 4 or 5, I guess, and I remember then we had two stoves down in the front of the church that provided heat. I think it was in 45 or 46. We finally got gas heat put in, but men of the church rotated Sundays as to come in the wintertime to get the stoves lit and get the heat going. And on Dad's days to come, sometimes I'd come with him as just a little toddler, not knowing what's going on or anything.
They were going to elect one deacon that year, and me and Alton was only ones on there. Well, I had to work that night, so I didn't get to vote, and it was a tied vote. So they had to start over again. And I won by one vote. If I'd have been here, Alton would have been the first one, because I was going to vote for him.
We had one baptizing a year, and that was in August. So the men had made a baptismal pool across the road here, down in the woods. It was a spring, and they had dug it out and made this nice baptismal pool and rocked it up, and they would get it cleaned up and cleaned out paths to go down there and come that Sunday, when everybody got to church, we all walked down to the baptismal pool.
Miss Marjorie McCullough is the first GA leader that I remember having. And then when our pastor, Jimmy and Betty Smith, came to Rockdale, that's when I really began to grow, I think, in my spirituality. She taught us so much. We had training union then, and we laughed at now that she wouldn't let us in the room until we could say a Bible verse. And so many of us were sweating it outside because we'd failed to learn a Bible verse, But anyway, eventually she would let us in. But that was good training. It really was. And that's where we learned to stand up and talk in front of other people.
Recently, my dad was awarded the Unsung Hero recognition from the Walton Tribune, and I nominated him. And one of the things in his nomination that I made sure to point out was that he worked a 24-hour shift every Saturday growing up. So he worked his construction job plus a 12-hour shift during the week. And so every Saturday morning at 7, he went in, and every Sunday morning he got off at 7. And we never missed church. He would come home on Sunday morning. I would wake up to him playing piano, and we would get ready and go to church as a family. And he played piano at Oasis Faith from the time the church started until the time he left.
Some of the most meaningful experiences that I've had at Rockdale is watching the girls and the children's ministry, that it's very traditional to what I grew up with, having the 5-day VBS or 4-day VBS, and Sunday school where they're learning the scripture, and Wednesday night and getting to see them perform on stage and do those things that'll be memories for them.
Rockdale is home to me. And if I had to move away, I'd come back to Rockdale. But I have enjoyed the fellowship that we have with our ministers. They're not these hootin' tootin', too good for me, They're down-to-earth people.
The first time that I came to Rockdale Church was in about 1941 and 42. And I came to a youth group there on Sunday night with Sam Potts. Now, Sam and I were dating, so he would come on Sunday afternoon, pick me up, and bring me to church down here to the youth fellowship. And we really enjoyed that. Now, my church was Philadelphia Baptist Church, but we did not have a youth group there, so I enjoyed Rockdale. That was my first visits to Rockdale.
The Sunday school classes had ages over the door. And it was like 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60. And it was really weird not many women aged while they were going to church at Rockdale Baptist. After all, you didn't want anybody to know how old you were. It was right over the door. So you would basically get in a class, and very few women ever advanced. You just stayed there.
Well, some of the most meaningful times at Oasis was watching the church grow. And I had a lot of family and friends that we had invited to church that hadn't been in church, and to see them accept Jesus and to be baptized. And then when we merged with Rockdale, it's just been a blessing to watch our church grow.
Our neighbors, Mr. Golden Hill, Miss Ethel, and Ellen, would go to church every Sunday. And at this time, we didn't have air conditioning. The windows were up. And every Sunday morning, I could hear them get into the car and the car door shut. And as they came home from church, I could hear them get out. I could hear their dishes. I knew I should be in church. So in time, Miss Agnes Hill and Miss Kate Reagan learned that there were new people in the area, and they came to visit us frequently. And through the influence, Buddy and I decided we needed to go to church. So we came and visited. At that time, Buddy was not a professing Christian. He went into Mr. Joe Kelly's Sunday school class, and under the influence and teaching of Mr. Joe Kelly, my husband became a Christian, was baptized into the Baptist faith, and I joined at the time of his baptism, and we have been a family of Rockdale Baptist Church ever since.
I think one of my fondest memories is I remember the church raising enough money to have the 3 crosses put in that are on the lawn over to the right-hand side. And I can just remember my grandfather being so proud that they had been able to do that. And us like going on like a Friday night, just going over to the church to see them after they had gotten them put in. And so my grandfather passed away sadly when I was 9 years old. And so a lot of my childhood memories are of attending church with my entire family. Yeah. Grandparents, aunts and uncles, cousins. It was all family.
I'm grateful to God that He placed my family here at Rockdale, and it's just been a blessing serving at this church, and I've got to know some wonderful people, and a lot of those guided me through my forming years, and are still leading me today. So.
What I would like to say to the people in the future down the road at Rockdale Baptist Church is that there's something for everybody, every age group in the church. I consider myself a type B introvert, and if God can take me and give me the boldness and the words to say, and prepare the hearts for the people that's going to hear it, He can use everybody.
We have been praying for a while as a family for a church that preached the Bible. So it was God that led us here, and we're so thankful. We have been meeting as a family, doing devotions, and I worked for the city of Social Circle, worked at the Welcome Center, and so I saw Dwayne Jones a lot in the community. At different events, and I knew that I needed to visit at some point the Church of Stanton Springs. But he came into the Welcome Center, and he gave a personal invitation to my family. And so I went home, and I asked James, and God had been working on James's heart as well. And so he said yes. He took the leadership role that Sunday to make sure that we were all up and ready, and mostly on time to get here that Sunday. Dwayne had invited us to a lunch that was going to be after service that day. But as we sat in the service, which we did enjoy, we did want to kind of sneak out and not stay. We weren't used to church being before Sunday school. And so it was pretty neat. The Sweet Miles family, I believe, were the ones that moved back so that my whole family could sit on the back row. But Dwayne did come back and stop us before we got out, invited us to Sunday school, and we all are so thankful that we stayed for that. So we stayed for Sunday school, and we also stayed for the lunch. This crew, you just mentioned food, and they're happy. So with Jesus and food, we loved it, every bit of it.
Happy 175th anniversary to Rockdale Baptist Church.
Happy 175th anniversary, Rockdale Baptist Church.
I'd like to wish everyone at Stanton Springs a happy 50th anniversary and many more to come.
Happy 175-year anniversary.
Happy 175th anniversary, Rockdale Baptist Church.
Happy 175th anniversary.
Happy 175th anniversary, Rockdale Baptist Church.
Happy 175th anniversary for Rockdale Baptist Church, for whom our county is named.
Happy 175th anniversary of Rockdale Baptist Church.
Happy 50th anniversary, Church at Stanton Springs.
Happy anniversary. Number 175 years for Rockdale Baptist Church.